Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Today I F'd Up. Our first post is by Free Yam. Today I F'd up by mistaking a child for a dog. Today I was walking home from the shops where I live. We have very few street lights, and it was extremely dark. I was walking along and there was a woman, just sort of in the street light, but she had a lead. I love dogs. Total dog person. So I start looking to see the dog, and I can't quite see the dog because of the way the light was in the road, but then the dog moves into the light more. I realize that the dog has one of those rain mac coats. It was pink with love hearts on it. So cute, it made sense for him to be wearing a coat since it's cold and rainy in the UK right now. So I did the proper British thing, walked past, gave the awkward smile and said, "Your dog's coat is so cute." Her face dropped. It was then that said dog stood up after crawling around on the wet grass, and what appeared before me was a 3 to 4-year-old. She had one of those backpack harnesses on. The woman was mortified. I was mortified. Confused, bright red and stumbling over my words, I spat out the worst apology you'd ever hear and ran off. I don't think I've ever embarrassed myself more. I'm mostly grateful I was on the other side of the road, so my escape route was easier. So what I have learned from this is kids' harnesses terrify me, and never to try complimenting people's dogs again. And to the poor woman whose child I mistook for a dog, I am so sorry. Also thought I'd make it clear. Harnesses are great in my opinion for kids. They ensure your child is safe and has independence, but please don't let them crawl around. Imbeciles like me might mistake your child for a dog if it's a bit dark. Update. Think I might be either going insane or being stalked by dog child. I keep seeing the same pink coat everywhere. Our next post is by Lexshelu. Today I F'd up by hooking up with a foreigner who has a girlfriend. I want to preface this by saying, I did not know, sorry the story is long. For reference, I am a female first-year college student at a coastal college in the eastern US. I was walking downtown one Friday night with my friends after leaving a music venue, drunk, when I make eye contact with a guy, but for an abnormally long amount of time. I mean at least 10 seconds. I notice that he's cute and perhaps a little too old for me, but I'm a little drunk and I'm feeling bold, so I turn around and walk up to him. I asked him for his Snapchat because that's just an easy way to talk to someone, and he mutters to me, "I'm from Germany though." I tell him I don't mind and I'd like to get to know him. He says okay, and we exchange Snapchats. For a few days he did not reach out, so I figured he wasn't interested. Okay, whatever. But he eventually reached out and we began talking frequently. We tell each other all about each other, where he tells me he is studying in Germany to be a doctor, how he is on a tour of the US, about his hopes and dreams, family, and I do the same. I start to feel a sense of closeness to him before we even met up again. One night he asked me to hang out with him and his friends before he left for a new city to visit in America. I happily say yes. However, he is 23 and so are all of his friends, so he suggests bar hopping. Long story short, I get my fake taken, get extremely embarrassed, but he decides to come back to my dorm with me. We talk for a while and eventually we have sex. Some of the best, might I add, and we did many times, but irrelevant. We end up spending the whole night telling each other so much about our lives and being extremely vulnerable with each other. He had to leave the next morning for his flight for the next US city on his list, so he leaves. I am left at home, a little sad that it came to an end, but satisfied, realizing that this was a one-night thing and I shouldn't become obsessed. I'm not delusional, and knew he probably did this kind of stuff with a bunch of girls. He is subjectively a very attractive man, and with that accent, I know other girls ate that up too, but still I was happy about it. I expected him to not reach out much while on his tour, and he didn't for a lot of it. But he would occasionally send me pictures of Vegas or San Francisco or Hollywood Boulevard, or text and ask how I'm doing. He then told me that he is going to make a detour from his plans and come back to my town to see me. Obviously, this is very exciting for me, and I say yes, and we make arrangements for him to come stay the night. He flies back to me and comes over. He greeted me with a necklace that he bought me while he was gone matching his, and put it on me. We again talk about our lives in depths, our futures, and his tour. We have sex again, multiple times, and we ended up staying up until like 4 in the morning, just talking. Couldn't tell you everything we discussed, but it was very intimate, and he is an extremely romantic person. Like when we woke up, he watched me get ready, telling me how beautiful I am and how upset he is to say goodbye, kissing me in between every step of my morning routine. Right before he left, he pulled me back into bed and told me to never settle for less, that whoever ends up with me is an extremely lucky man, and that I am beautiful, intelligent, funny, kind, etc. He told me he wants to one day fly me out to his home and show me where he lives. It was a very sweet moment for me. I started crying because I don't think anyone's ever told me such nice things. I know though, that men will say anything to get in your pants, but this felt real at least to some degree. We hug and kiss and tell each other, "Have a great life," and he walked away. Later that day, he removed me as a friend from his Snapchat. I am pretty upset, but again realized this was not going to be a long-term situation, so I was okay. I brushed it off as a cool meetup with an awesome person that I was lucky to meet, once-in-a-lifetime person that I'll never forget. This goes on for about a month, neither of us reaching out. Fast forward to last night, some guy adds me by search on Snapchat, not a name I recognize, but I accept it anyways. He sends me a snap, and to my shock, it was the German, saying that he misses me so much. I ask him why he is contacting me on a Snapchat of a person's name that isn't his. He then sends me paragraphs explaining that this was a fake Snapchat, that he has a long-term girlfriend back in Germany, that they aren't doing well, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to really be with her. He told me that spending time with me was really great and refreshing for him, that he will never forget me, and I was more special to him than I realize, but he doesn't want her to find out. So he will be talking to me on this Snapchat because he doesn't want to lose contact. I didn't say much, I just told him that while I feel the same way, that what he did was wrong and I wasn't sure what to say. He said, "I know, sleep well, and when you wake up we will talk about this more." Our next post is by Quixotic Fire. Today I effed up by letting my dentist ruin my smile. I've had terrible teeth all my life due to poor mental health. My front tooth recently got a root canal and thus required a crown. I got a temporary one in after they did the root canal and scan. They told me to come back in 2 weeks for the permanent one, so I did. The first crown they got was the wrong color and hardly fit, so they sent for another in the same color the perfectly blended temporary crown was. Temporary crowns aren't color matched, just come in the average tooth color, which happened to match the other front tooth. They called me a few days ago to let me know my new one was in. So I let my employer know and took today off. I went in today, expecting the new crown to fit just right. To the dentist in surprise, it was a perfect fit. After trimming the back to the right thickness to work with my super deep bite, we cemented it. They handed me a mirror several times to make absolutely sure it was fine, and I agreed. I really just wanted to get out of there because this dentist has screwed other crap up to get me to come back. I didn't want him to keep drilling elsewhere, which he has already begun doing in order for the crown to fit better. Everything felt great until I got home. This crown is huge. I have a cartoonish fake tooth right beside my other naturally stained and weakened teeth. It's definitely not the same color as the temporary crown either. I've been crying about it all afternoon. I already have low self-esteem, and I feel I can never smile in front of anyone again. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.